What's up, guys? I'm Chris Carpenter with Story Real Estate, and today on the Story Real Estate Business Highlight, we're going to Sisters Cookie Company. Well, tell me about the creation story behind Sisters Cookies.
Ours is quite unique in that we never meant to be a business. It's been 12 years ago. I sent cookies with my husband to work, and he came home and said, hey, the guys think the cookies are pretty good. Why don't you work at or sell them at Farmers Market? So the girls were 12 and 8. We thought about it for a little bit and thought, okay, let's just take the girls for 3 weeks. So at the end of the third week, we came a little bit late, and here it was people waiting for us. I was a little startled by that. I was too embarrassed to not show up next week with cookies. And so I said, girls, it seems like we've struck a chord here. Let's just keep doing this. We named it Sisters, and that was just to help them feel connected, feel attached. And at that time, I was only doing chocolate chip, one kind of cookie.
Wow.
2/3 into the second season, I said, girls, let's just take a Saturday off. We're here every week. You know, you guys are committed. Let's just, we'll take a day off. When we got back the next week, people were like, we brought our grandma because your cookies are so much like hers, and we wanted to meet her, and we were going to go out of town on vacation. People keep asking, and so we keep coming. And it's still that way in the business.
So tell me about what the business looks like right now. You have this amazing location. You said you hired more people. What does it look like right now?
It's really just the outworking of who you actually are. If you're faithful, if you're on time, if you manage your money well, that's who you're going to be as a business person. And that part surprised me. Yeah. I thought it was a profile of somebody more like you, Chris. Pull down the chart. Here's where we're going. Buckle up. We're on a ride. But if you're grateful, if you're thankful, if you appreciate people, that conveys to them.
We've heard so many just great stories of people who these cookies are part of them growing up. And like we've had people tell us, you know, our kids have been going to the farmer's market, getting cookies every single Saturday, every single year, and they'll always remember this, and they'll always remember how these cookies tasted and all that kind of stuff. So
I got a call one time from a patient's daughter in Spokane at Sacred Heart. Her 80-some-year-old dad had cancer and needed to have radiation. So he'd go into radiation, and then she went to the dining room and got him a molasses ginger cookie. So she brought it to him, and it brought him a lot of joy. So the next time he had radiation, she went back, but they rotate the kind of cookies, so they didn't have the molasses ginger. So she says, I'm calling from Spokane. Can I drive down to Moscow, pick up 3 dozen molasses ginger cookies?
Wow.
This means the world to my dad. So she came down, she went back up there, and she said he worked up some appetite. So every time he came out, he'd get 2 cookies. And he said, honestly, this is almost worth having cancer for. So she said, you have no idea how this brings joy to him. So he passed away. She called me that week, and she said, okay, we're having a memorial service. Could you do several hundred molasses ginger cookies for that? She said, if it brought him that much joy at the end, we wanted to honor that at the memorial service. And so we told our staff, guys, this makes a difference. Every cookie that you make is impacting. We don't always hear the stories, but just how much that meant to somebody. It's just a grace in a little, dough ball going up there.
Let's say I want to buy some Sisters cookies. Should I come here? Where should I go? What do I do?
Well, farmers market, if you can make it, because it's not just us, it's all, the whole farmers market experience that adds a whole level to our cookies. But we're open Monday through Friday, 1 to 4 here, or we have a lot of orders online. Shipping, a lot of
order through the website. So anybody can get on there. Yeah. And
you can get on our website, social media to contact us, because people, it's surprising for one product, like I said, all the variables. They want a package for gifting. They want it to go in the cooler on their trip or whatever. So we just adapt for whatever the need is. if you can imagine it, cookies could be applicable for that. If you want to dress them up, if you want them to be super casual, there's just really, the sky's the limit on that.
Thanks for joining me for this month's Story Real Estate Business Highlight. For more insider community content, make sure to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. And as always, have a wonderful day.